Hey gang, and welcome to Tantrum House Studio 3. I'm Will Meadows.
And I'm Sara Meadows, and today we're looking at Dragon Castle from CMON.
Dragon Castle is a tile placement game that's essentially Mahjong, but with some really cool additions.
It's designed by Silva Ricci Hatch and illustrated by Sinyi Chiu, and it plays in about 40 minutes.
Unlike Microsoft Mahjong, in this game you have to actually manually place all of the tiles, which it turns out is a pretty cathartic experience.
When laying out the tiles, you follow the pattern mapped out on the board.
Each player also gets their own board and begins the game with one rooftop in their possession.
On their turn, players must choose a tile from the topmost level that has one of its long sides open. They may then choose a second identical tile, or take a roof, or trash that tile and gain a victory point.
Any tiles gained must be placed face up on the player's board. It may go anywhere and on any level, but must not cover up a face up tile.
Whenever a player places a tile that causes 4 or more tiles of the same color to touch orthogonally, the tiles are scored and flipped over.
When red, yellow, and green tiles are scored, one roof gets added to those tiles. When black and blue are scored, 2 roofs get added, and when pink dragon tiles are scored, 2 roofs and a bonus victory point are added.
Once the second and third levels of the board are depleted, players may choose to summon the dragon on their turn and take a dragon token for 2 victory points.
Once the exclamation point is visible, the round finishes and points are scored.
Players are awarded 3 victory points for buildings with a roof 3 high, 2 for 2 high, and 1 for a single tile with a roof. The player with the most points wins.
So basically, if you've ever owned a PC, then you have the gist and the basic knowledge of how to play this game. It's very similar to the traditional Mahjong game, but it does add some really cool stuff. Those rooftops and the way you score, and then we didn't actually cover this, but we'll talk about it right now. There are spirit and dragon cards that could come out as well, and so there's lots of different ways to shake up how you score in the game and how you play in the game, and it really adds a lot of variety to your gameplay experience.
Yeah, some of those spirit cards allow for a different way that you are allowed to take tiles on your turn. So normally, even though there's a long row of tiles and any one that has a long side showing can be taken, there is one where it has to be on an end, so that limits what you're able to do on your turn. There's also some with the dragon that making a specific configuration of tiles next to one another on your own game board will allow for additional victory points. And there's a lot of different ways to change up the gameplay with those cards.
It's really crazy because the artwork on those cards is super gorgeous. I really like the painterly illustration style that they used in this. The box cover is really attractive. The icons on the tiles are just simple and straightforward, but the cool thing about that is that the component quality is really nice. So those tiles they're just weighted just right. They have this nice texture to them. They have those really curvy rounded corners. There's a really aesthetic experience to playing the game, which is pretty cool. And then as you build up those tiles on your board and you have the little rooftops on it, this game has a really nice table presence to it.
Yeah, I think my favorite part about this game is that this is something that is probably Spiel des Jahres worthy. They take a very simple, well-known mechanic that's known by non-gamers and gamers alike, and they expound on it, and they do it in a simple way. There's very few rules. There's a great player aid that explains everything very well, and so this makes a very more in-depth experience to just the classic Mahjong game, and I really give them credit for building something a little more detailed and in-depth from something very simple.
And it's going to have a very big appeal too, I think, because this is the type of thing that Mahjong fans are going to enjoy. So, mom and grandma and grandpa and everybody else can feel comfortable in the game. It adds some additional strategy, which is nice, so the gamer level can experience it and appreciate it. I think playtime is maybe 40 minutes, so it's a kind of medium weight, and it's something that kids could pick up and enjoy too. So I think appeal-wise, it's going to have a really large audience.
Yeah, for me personally, I actually enjoyed the 2-player version better. That's Will may disagree with me. I felt like I was able to play a little bit longer game, planning long term instead of just there's more rounds and turns you get to take with a 2-player because you may put out the same number of tiles. I thought that it was a little more chess-like, and I had to use a little more strategy and being careful what I took and what I left on the board for the other player.
I feel like the 2-player version has a lot more potential to be a little bit more backstabby. Like you can see which tiles they're going for, and then you can trash that one that they've been waiting on the whole time to steal that victory point, which is maybe fun. And the only thing I didn't like about 2 is that you can kind of just, I'm going to collect the blues and the blacks, and she's going to collect the yellows or whatever, and we don't even have to really intermix. With 4 players, you kind of overlap each other a little more. You kind of have to have that plan B mentality, like, oh no, they just took the tile I wanted. What am I going to do now? So yeah, really cool experiences for all player counts. And if it sounds like something that you would enjoy, I think Dragon Castle just got released, like maybe this past week. It'll be at Origins, and it'll be in your friendly local game store, so check that out. And then be sure to subscribe to Tantrum House. We love having you guys around, and we'll see you with our next review coming soon. Hey gang, and welcome to Tantrum House Duty. Forgot where we were. All right, so first off, anyone who has played, or anyone who owned a PC. All right, so first off, anyone who Dragon Castle is a
with a roof. Player.
Just say no, that's fine.